listening to Erik Waddell Pause. We pause for a second or two. This is episode 35. Specific skill, weight and balance. Today's episode is about a specific skill that is kind of like two skills in one, but they are related to such a high degree that I will talk about them as one skill. Weight and balance. Weight is about our sense of weight down into the ground. To feel heavy in a good sense. To feel in contact with the ground, to feel that we can stand where we stand if we know that it's the right thing to do. Balance is also our sense of balance. And to have a sense of balance is to physically not be too much on our toes or not be too much on our heels. So, in a physical sense, not being overly eager or being overly passive. When we combine these two to have a physical sense of weight as well as a physical sense of balance, when we have those two, we develop a specific emotional skill that is very useful in not every situation, so most situations. I would say maybe almost all situations actually. If you think about it and call to memory some situation when something acute has happened, something sudden, something something when people panic or act in a rushed way. If you call to mind such an event or such a memory, if you try to visualize these kinds of situations, if you think about the people in this situation, in this panicked, acute situation, you will see that very few maybe no one in this situation has any real sense of physical weight down into the ground. You can see their feet sort of fidgeting or jumping or pacing back and forth, or like the sole of the shoe is not really connected to the ground. Like the person has no weight and is easily toppled or put off balance. If you visualize even further and think about balance, you will often see that in acute situations, when something rushed happens, the people involved will most often be leaning slightly forward or leaning slightly backwards. And regardless if people are leaning forwards or backwards, their energy, their momentum is sort of going away from the situation. Their intention is going away from the situation. And when our intention is going away, then we are physically, with our bodies, communicating to both ourselves and the other people in this situation that we have no intention of finding a generally good solution to this situation for everyone. We are sort of communicating with our bodies that we don't believe in this situation, that we believe that it will not be resolved. So instead, we are leaning forwards or backwards to communicate that this situation is not constructive, so I am leading my energy away from this situation. The not so funny irony in this situation is that if all the people involved in a situation is not believing in the situation but leading their energy away from the situation, then an acute situation, a sudden situation might happen that wouldn't have happened if people would have been balanced. So our sheer physical intention of leaning backwards or forwards can have a self-fulfilling effect on the situation. So there might even not be a real situation going on. But since everyone is acting like there is something going on, then something might actually happen. This is how collective panic spreads, and how stress in general is sort of reproduced from person to person. That one person off balance, like domino trays, one person being off balance causes the next one to become off balance, and the next one, and the next one. And after a while, everyone will be off balance. And then, when everyone is off balance, something bad happens. Does not have to be devastating, but something bad will happen. something acute, something unpleasant. Today's specific skill, weight and balance, is about getting in contact with, to learn, to become a person who can break this domino effect. So, might be that the person standing next to you are off balance. And the person is off balance because he or she just met another person who was off balance. But since you are there and you have practiced this specific skill, you have a real sense of physical weight in the soles of your feet. You can feel that you're connected down into the core of the earth. And not only that, in addition to your weight, your sense of anchoring down into the ground, in addition to that, you're balanced. You're not leaning forwards. You're not leaning backwards. So you're like this heavy, like a mountain or like a building or like a pillar. This heavy, reassuring pillar of weight and balance standing in the middle. And if you would practice this specific skill, you will start recognizing that if you try this out in the world, maybe you are in the supermarket, maybe you are out in the street, maybe you are waiting for the bus, and you're doing this thing, this weight and balance. So you're heavy down into the ground and you are balanced. You're not leaning forwards, you're not leaning backwards. And you can sense this weight and balance throughout your whole body, from head to feet. If you do this, you will start recognizing that the people around you will start looking more heavy. They will start to balance themselves. Maybe someone who was leaning forward sees you or feels your presence and starts becoming more balanced. And in this way, the situation, because of your weight and balance, becomes a situation that the group thinks of as a constructive situation, a safe situation, a predictable situation. And with this method, many of our everyday acute situations, everyday sudden unpleasant situations will minimize. So wherever you go, if you have a real physical sense of weight and a real physical sense of balance in your body, throughout your whole body, down into the ground, if you have that, then wherever you go, situations will calm down. Everyone is affected by this. So the negative domino effect I was talking about, how panic and being off balance is spreading like dominoes. In the same way, this sort of weight and balance spreads equally fast. So we are a group animal. We are very sensitive to each other's intentions. And if someone enters the room and they feel heavy and balanced and with a pleasant intention, then everyone will calm down and there won't really be any sudden, acute, dangerous situations because everyone feels safe. And I am not saying, however, that this works like a charm. It doesn't. Sometimes someone is off balance and so light they have no weight. Sometimes a person is so off balance that it doesn't matter how balanced you are. Sometimes we come across people who are intoxicated or panicked to such a degree that they won't notice that you're even standing there. So this is a great skill. It helps a lot, but it works within limitations. And I will complement this skill with other specific skills in case of this acute situation. And that you can hear in other episodes. In this last part of this episode, I guess I want to talk about an effective and enjoyable way to get a sense of our weight. Because the most important one to start with is weight, our physical sense of weight. Without weight, we can have no balance. So we will start with weight. So if you're interested in learning this, you can try this that I'm gonna tell you. So you can see here on this episode that the Polaroid, the image for specific skill, weight and balance, is an image of me lying on my stomach on a carpet. I'm just, straight up and down, lying face down on a carpet. And throughout the whole of our front, our face, our neck, our chest, stomach, pelvis, thighs, knees, legs and feet, the entire front of our body is quite sensitive. We have a lot of nerve endings on the front of our bodies. And that's because the front of our bodies is more important than the backs of our bodies. Because all the important organs and such is on the front. So If you lie down on your stomach on a carpet, you will get a very real sensation of your own weight. You will feel extremely heavy. And you will also ache. You will recognize that you have pain in different parts of your body. It will feel somewhat uncomfortable in the beginning. And at the same time, as you feel this uncomfortable feeling, you cannot be mistaken about your physical sense of weight. You cannot mistake it. You will just feel very heavy. Maybe uncomfortably heavy, but heavy. And as you lay there on the carpet, after a little while, a few minutes, the heaviness will start feeling a little bit more natural to you. Like you're growing accustomed to the sense of weight. And when you're starting to feel accustomed to your own physical sense of weight, then you can slowly push yourself up and sort of slide onto your hip or something, or your bottoms, and then sit on the carpet for a little while. And as you do this, you can just stay focused, casually, but stay focused on your own sense of weight, down into the carpet, down into the floor, down into the ground. So now you will feel the same sense of weight, but as you're sitting instead on the carpet. Maybe it's a bit uncomfortable, yes, but you're feeling heavy, and that's the important part here. And then, after a little while, a minute or two, you will feel accustomed to your sense of weight while sitting. And then you will slowly get up on your 2 feet. And as you're standing there, looking out, you will feel that standing on your 2 feet feels different than it did before this exercise. You will feel a sense of weight in the soles of your feet that might feel quite new to you. And that sense of weight into your feet, record that feeling into your mind. Remember that feeling. And if you want to, you can do the whole process again and get down on your stomach again if you want to. But remember that feeling in your feet. Because having that feeling, carrying that sense of weight in the soles of our feet, has the potential to do a lot of good for your life. A lot of situations in life will just become inexplicably smoother when you have a sense of weight in your body. So, you have not meditated, you have not learned any philosophy. It's nothing mysterious or hippie about it. You have simply just experienced your own sense of weight and learned that you can make use of it. So try this. Try this specific skill, weight and balance, and start with weight. We'll get to balance. The most important one is weight. So claim your weight. Get a feeling of your weight while on your stomach, while sitting on the carpet, and while standing up on your 2 feet. And then see how it feels. Make it like an experiment, or test it out. Do it casually. It's not a big a deal. So test this and see how you experience whatever situation you have after this. Maybe you are talking to your spouse. Maybe you are doing a household chore. Maybe you are, I don't know, working. And just notice the difference. The emotional difference for you, how it feels for you emotionally. To do the same thing you always do, but this time with a real physical sense of weight. And just notice the difference. That's it for today. Thank you.